The Western Conference is currently in a state of limbo. From one perspective, you can say the Denver Nuggets, who have been the best team in the conference all season, are the favorites to make it to the finals. Or even the Memphis Grizzlies, who, despite injuries and controversy, have still battled along for a top 2 seed in the West. But the bottom half of the playoff picture makes things really intriguing. The Phoenix Suns are trying to galvanize in a short amount of time around their new star Kevin Durant. The LA Clippers will try to survive at least the first round of the playoffs without Paul George. The Los Angeles Lakers have clawed their way back into playoff contention after a flurry of midseason trades. And last but certainly not least, the defending champion Golden State Warriors, who have not been their old formidable selves all season. But listen folks, when you have Steph Curry, you always have a chance. That chance has now become a real genuine opportunity with the return of one name to the roster, Andrew Wiggins, who might just be able to shift the entire Western Conference playoff picture to favor the Warriors. There's no question just how important Wiggins has become to this version of the Warriors. After spending the first couple of seasons in Golden State adjusting to their motion style of offense, learning how to play alongside Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, and in many ways rediscovering his own game, Wiggins has become an essential cog for the Warriors' title aspirations. He proved as much just last year, being the Warriors' de facto second best player throughout the 2021 playoffs and helping them lift their 4th trophy in just 8 seasons. Wiggins was a game changer. He guarded the opposing team's best player, he hit timely shots, he was a good source of rebounding for a small team, and he was able to create his own offense if they ever needed him to. You see, in Golden State, Wiggins doesn't have the burden of being the number 1 option, like in Minnesota where he first started out his career. So while he's capable of being a scorer, creating his own shot, and generating offense, that's not what they need him for in Golden State. They need him for all the other things he provides as a defender, rebounder, and connector on offense. And that fluidness, that adaptability that Wiggins provides is exactly what makes him the perfect player to swing the odds back to favor the Dubs once again. And that's pretty crazy to say because all season, the Warriors haven't given us much reason to believe in them. They're only 3 games above 500 as of the time of this writing and have the 4th worst road record in the entire NBA, only trailing the Rockets, Pistons, and Spurs in that category. Their usually formidable defense is allowing just under 114 points per 100 possessions, good for 18th in the NBA. Their consistently dominant offense is just 13th in points per 100 possessions, and they have the 15th best net rating in the league. Those aren't terrible numbers, but for the type of team they want to be, hell, just for being the defending champions, those are bad numbers. Now, to be fair, the Warriors have had their fair share of injuries. Steph Curry has missed 26 games this year. Klay Thompson was still sitting out on back-to-backs until just recently. Their trade deadline reacquisition of Gary Payton II didn't go off without a hitch. He's missed 20 games since the deadline. And Wiggins hasn't played since before Valentine's Day due to personal reasons, and has only played in a total of 37 games all year. But he's expected to come back just in time for the end of the regular season, and his return might just be enough to bring some consistency back to the Warriors. After all, when everyone has been healthy, the Warriors starters have still been just as dominant as ever. Of 5-man lineups that have played over 300 minutes together this season, the Warriors starters of Curry, Thompson, Green, Wiggins, and Kevon Looney have the best net rating of plus 21.9, nearly 8 points better than the second best starting 5, the Denver Nuggets. They also have the best defensive rating among all 5-man lineups who have played more than 300 minutes together, and the best offense. When their starters have played, the Warriors have been just as good as last season. The issue is that starting lineup has only played 22 games together this year, and they're 13-9 in those games. Not really world beater material, which shows there's some underlying issues going on. For starters, the Warriors aren't as deep as they were last season. Thanks to Jordan Poole, the Dubs bench still puts up good offensive numbers, but overall they have a net rating of minus 1.3, good for 22nd in the league. They're a bottom half rebounding team in terms of rebound percentage, and are second last in turnover percentage, only ahead of the lowly Rockets. Now, none of this screams championship material, and yet Wiggins could change that. Not only because the Warriors starting lineup with Wiggins has the 5th best rebounding percentage among those starting lineups I mentioned earlier, but because Wiggins addresses 2 more issues for the Warriors: perimeter defense and depth. When you add a player like Wiggins, a multi-positional defender who has the strength and length to guard up in size and the quickness and agility to guard down in size, you have a very unique defensive tool. Wiggins proved as much last year in the playoffs, guarding Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic the majority of his time on defense, while also getting the main assignment on Ja Morant. That's versatile. Pair that with Peyton II and Thompson on the perimeter, have Looney and Green as the help and backline defense, and now we're talking about a formidable defensive team. That same flexibility on defense impacts the Warriors' depth issues. They won't have to rely on Anthony Lamb or JaMychal Green as much because Wiggins will take the bulk of their minutes. It also knocks everyone down a peg in terms of responsibilities, so no one is overexerting their actual abilities. And while depth is important in the playoffs, rotations do get cut shorter, so essentially bringing back Wiggins will ease the Warriors' depth concerns. Now, is it enough to get the Warriors back to title contention? I believe it is. The West is wide open. There is no surefire favorite. The Nuggets have been incredible all year, but are still a very flawed defensive team. The Grizzlies, for all their great qualities, are still a team that struggles to generate good looks on offense when the game slows down in the playoffs. The Kings, who have been the surprise team all year, are also a very flawed defensive team. The Suns have depth issues of their own and will have to take the learn-on-the-fly approach with assimilating Durant onto their roster. The Clippers will be without George for at least a few more weeks. The Lakers, despite how good they've looked recently, still have a lot of health-related questions surrounding Anthony Davis and LeBron James. The Pelicans, Mavericks, Thunder, and Timberwolves are all either too injured, too young, or too discombobulated to pose as true threats to make a title run, which creates the perfect window of opportunity for these Warriors to stake their claim. Now, there's no question that the Warriors have their own questions they have to answer in the next couple of weeks, but at the very least, the recipe for success for this team already exists. The blueprint is there for how to win. And a lot of that rests on the shoulders of Maple Jordan, aka Andrew Wiggins. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button and make sure to check out our other NBA videos as well. Take care.